Li is a monk in the Shaolin monastery who is 6 years old. His whole life, he has lived in the temple and trained in martial arts. At the start of the movie, Li goes into the monastery and apologizes to his leaders for what he is about to do. He has to fight them to show how good he is. A monk strikes him from the side, but he doesn't let go. Li moves away from the attack right away. Li is thrown against the wall by the monk, but he gets right back up and keeps fighting. He gives the monk several kicks while he is in the air to show off his skills. Moments later, Li beats the first monk by putting him on hold with a handmade bamboo box. After that, the second monk with swords comes after him. Li is able to take his opponent's weapons away, so he has no choice but to admit loss. Then he goes up to the third and final monk. Even when he is meditating, the monk can tell when Li is coming toward him. He uses a prayer bead to hit the mirror in just the right way to make Li go blind. The kid is then picked up and thrown to the ground in less than a second. The monk is about to win with his last blow, but Li moves away and kicks him in the chest. When all is said and done, Li wins again. He bows to the shrine and walks outside while his opponents bow to him out of respect. The head monk tells Li that he did better on the test than most kids his age because he got 88 out of 100. Li is going to be an exchange student at a school in the city. During his time there, he is meant to live with a family of 3, whose father is a great chemist who is close to the head monk. The kid says goodbye and heads to the city, where he's excited to meet new people. In the next scene, we meet Feng, who is 15 years old and runs the karate club at his school. Shanshan, his younger sister, is in the 4th grade. Lan is in charge of the school's taekwondo club. She looks at Feng's games and tells him what he could have done better and how. Lan also seems to like him, but when asked, she says she doesn't. Yu, Lan's brother, loves to eat more than anything else in the world. One afternoon, Lan is doing what she always does and thinking about the taekwondo fights from the day before while her brother Yu eats a lot of chips and snacks. Dr. Han is a doctor and the father of 2 children. Since their mother died a few years ago, Dr. Han has been busy with work. Dr. Han calls the children to see how they are. Lan is upset that her father is never at home with her and her mother. Gangsters are interested in a special gadget that he is making. Dr. Han says he'll be back soon and tells them to open a gift box he just sent to the house. In fact, the box has the device he made that the gang is looking for. Li comes to their door and knocks while they are talking. Lan opens the door for him. She is too busy greeting him to notice that her father is being taken away from the other end of the video call. Larry, the head of the gang, tells Dr. Han that he will hurt him if he doesn't give them the important device. On the other hand, Dr. Han says that there is no gadget like this. He has been working on an AI device that will let his children use their mother's voice to talk to an AI. The boss doesn't believe him, so he keeps him as a prisoner. When he checks the video from the CCTV camera, he sees that the device was sent to his house and received by his children. Sloppy and Fist, 2 of Larry's goons, offer to get the device no matter what. Dr. Han will be held as a hostage until they get it. This is Sloppy and Fist's first job as thugs, so they are excited. As a cover, they dress in strange clothes and show up in front of Lan's house. When it gets dark, Sloppy tries to get in, but Fist says they should wait until the kids leave for school the next morning. In the meantime, Li is getting used to his new surroundings. He sees Lan watching a taekwondo match on TV and is very interested in the sport. Later, as Yu plays a video game, he tries to do his nighttime meditation. They both bother each other, which makes it hard for them to live together. But soon, they play the game together and become friends because of it. Lan opens the box her father sent and finds a panda keychain inside. What she doesn't know is that the box also contains a pen drive that the gang is looking for. When Lan presses a button, the bear asks Lan to set a voice-activated password. She says, "What password?" which is then set as the new password without her knowing. She tests it more and finds out that the bear is an AI that sounds like their mother. The next morning, Li, Yu, and Lan get ready for their first day of school. Sloppy and Fist watch them from their car and plan to break in as soon as they are out of sight. But just then, Sloppy sees that Lan has put the panda tag on her bag. They decide to change their plans and steal it from her. The group meets Feng and his sister Shanshan on the way to school. Lan puts him in touch with Li. As they talk, Sloppy quickly grabs the keychain and walks off. Lee sees this and does several backflips and a high jump to get to him. Feng is surprised by how good a boxer he is. They both beat him up and take the panda, but Sloppy doesn't give up. He takes it again because he didn't learn his lesson the first time. Soon, the kids surrounded him and put him in a trash can. Then, they pushed him down the road. Lee's friends are surprised to see a kid monk for the first time when he goes to school. They ask him things like if he can ever get married and if he knows kung fu. The teacher tells them to be quiet and wait until gym class to see his kung fu moves. During gym class, the coach tells them that next month there will be a fitness test. Those who don't do well on the test will have to take the class again next year. Yu is worried because he hasn't worked out in a long time and can barely walk. The first thing they have to do is run 100 m. Lee can run 2 laps before any of his friends can run even one. Next, they are told to do push-ups, which is one of Lee's many skills. The other kids can barely do 2, but he can do more than 100. To show how strong he really is, he does push-ups with one hand and then with his body straight up. He gets cheers and praise from everyone. The next thing they do is high jumps. Lee has no trouble with big jumps in elementary school. But Yu struggles and falls, landing on his back on the stage. Back in Dr. Han's lab, the gangster Larry has him tied to a chair and is hitting him with golf balls. Dr. Han spends his own money to teach him new skills so he can have something to do. Sloppy and Fist break into the house at night to try to find the bear. Lee sees them and hides behind a stuffed animal to scare them away. He causes trouble for the new thieves, but they see him and try to fight him as soon as they can. The gangsters grab the panda and run away when Lan comes downstairs. Lee tells them what happened, but his brothers and sisters think he is making it up. In the next scene, Sloppy and Fist are at the lab and are both chewing on golf balls. It turns out that instead of the special gadget, they stole a panda humidifier. Larry has 3 days to sell the device to his clients, but he can't wait. He threatens Fist and Sloppy with golf tees to get them to finish the job faster. The next day, after school, the group watches Feng fight with another person. Yu and Shanshan are talking about 2 ugly girls in the back of the bleachers. It turns out that the girls in question are really Sloppy and Fists. They watch the panda on Lan's bag and wait for the right time to get it. Just then, Lee dares Feng to a match, and everyone goes to the front to watch. Behind them, the thieves try to take the bear out of the bag, but their wig gets stuck, making them fight. As the fight goes on, we can see that Feng and Lee are just as good as each other. It finishes quickly when neither person wants to hit the other. At that moment, everyone turns around and sees Sloppy and Fist dressed like schoolgirls. After taking a girl hostage, the 2 thieves escape with the bear and the girl. The kids go to the principal and call the cops, who say they will do their best to find them. Lee blames himself for what happened because Lan wouldn't have been sidetracked if Lee hadn't pushed Feng into a fight. The other people in the group show him that they don't blame him. Larry gets the bear in the end, and he uses the pen drive inside it to start a computer program. To get to it, though, you need a password. Dr. Han is asked by Larry what the secret is, but he refuses to say it. A couple of hackers try for a whole day to break the code, but they are not successful. By the end, Larry starts to go crazy and has a nervous breakdown. Then, he sees Lan's message on Dr. Han's phone and plans to use Lan to blackmail him. Lan has invited her dad to her birthday party tomorrow. Larry answers as Dr. Han and says he will be on time. The next night, Lan's friends come to her house to celebrate her birthday. Feng, Yu, Lee, and Shanshan went to the market to buy gifts for her. Lan's father sends her a message that he is outside. But when she goes outside to check, she is taken and put in a van. Lee and the others see her at the same time and follow the van on their bikes. When they get to Dr. Han's lab, they look for her. Larry and his business partner are worried because they were meant to close the deal yesterday. To speed up the process, Larry puts a knife in Lan's face and asks her for the password while the knife is in her face. She then asks what password, and the computer program opens. Sloppy and Fist are standing guard outside. Lee and Feng go after them and quickly knock them out. But soon, they run into Bradley, who is Larry's right-hand man. He is a fighter, so even when they work together, they have trouble beating him. Larry and his partner are about to finish the deal in the lab when Yu comes in and frees his sister and father in secret. Li also helps them fight the gangsters by coming to their aid. In the middle of all the confusion, Larry grabs the bag with the pen drive in it and runs outside. Dr. Han, Yu, and Lan beat him up and stop him. In the meantime, Li gets back together with Feng to face Bradley. At first, they had trouble, but in the end, they were able to beat him. The cops finally get there and save the day. In the last scene, the school director gives Li and Yu an award for being brave. Share your thoughts in the comments, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next videos.